Good morning and welcome to the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living, where we come together as one, providing spiritual tools for daily living. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Tucker. I'm the senior minister here at the Oasis. And I have this wonderful team that God has loaned me to do this, because I couldn't do this without them. So let me introduce Faith first. Faith has been in my congregation since before conception, when she was just a twinkle in the eye of her parents. Anyway, she has been my assistant, unofficial assistant, most of her life. She used to come up on the podium and do announcements with me when she was a baby. She would sit on the podium. And then she became an usher and started handing out affirmation cards. And now, in 1 week, she will be 18, and she is my official assistant now. So today she's also going to be our soloist. So I wish her luck. I know she's recovering from last week. Her voice is just barely recovered. So we are just knowing that she's going to have what she needs to do that. Thanks for being here, Faith. We love you. And then my partner in crime, the wise and powerful Oz. He's been with me since 1998. My first baby practitioner, did all of his training with me except for one class at Mile High. And then was my board president for something like 11 years. And then moved off to Florida, and we didn't have him in our service for quite a while. But now, because of technology, he's joining us from Florida. So we are so blessed to have you. And he will be doing our pray-ins, our pray-outs, and at the very end, he'll be available for our 1-minute miracle, which I will talk about a little bit more later. Thank you for being here. We love you. All right. Duchess, leave it. I'm sorry. Duchess is rushing the baby gate. I think she wants to be with Daisy, but she tortures Daisy, so she can't be. Oh, goodness. And today's topic is 12 Laws of Karma, which I am copying from this group called Happy Soul. It inspired me, and I thought, yeah, let's just do it their way. Also, I'd like to introduce our unofficial music team, which is Karen Drucker and Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver. We do their music every week in some form or another. We do What We Are All One, which is Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver, and I Am So Blessed at the end, which is Karen Drucker. But we also use a lot of their music in the service, and today we're going to do a Karen Drucker song, or Faith is going to do a Karen Drucker song. I'm not going to do that. I tried being in the choir and talking, and it was not enough. It was too much for me. All right. Say hi if you're here. Hello, good morning, however you'd like to greet us. When we're in a facility, I can look out and see the shining faces and get that physical feedback from people. In here, we can't do that, so please let us know you're here. Hi, hello, good morning, however you'd like to greet us. And if you'd like to do a watch party, there is a watch party button. If you use that, you can invite all your friends to your watch party, and it's a great way for them to know what kind of talks they will be receiving. And it's a great way for you to talk and answer their questions, because you can't disturb anybody, right? You can just communicate back and forth. I'd like to invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Allow the service to uplift and inspire you as we move into our centering song.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Presence of God, right here, right now. Wherever you are, you're held and supported and lifted and breathed and lived by the presence of God right inside you, right inside of each one of us. The eternal and ever-present force is living our lives through us. I know that all good things are possible through this one force, infinite and eternal. And I know that no matter the circumstances, that presence is there to bring goodness and light into whatever situation. I know this is good and very good, and I give thanks that it is so, and I let it be. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Oz. So again, say hi, hello, good morning, however you'd like to greet us. Let us know that you're here. This next song is We Are All One, which is our philosophy. This one is Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver's song that we do each week. If you know the words, sing it loud and sing it proud, because you can't bother anybody. And if you don't know the words, learn them. It's a great meme to have in your heart and in your mind.
We are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. I hear it and know with my being. Spirit is all I am seeing. For God is all there is. Grateful am I to be living, open to what I receive, honoring what I've been given, sharing now what I believe. I remember the oneness around me. I surrender to infinite light, knowing the love that's surrounding me is within me by day and night. And we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. Yes, we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it.
All right. Say hi, hello, good morning, however you'd like to greet us. If you like something you hear, whether that's in the song or something I say or the prayer that Oz does, use that like button, that thumbs up. And if you love something, send us hearts, because we love. And if something I say strikes you as powerful, or something you hear in a song, or the words that come out of Oz's prayer strikes you as powerful, please let us know by doing the wow button. It lets us know if we're on track, like we're really touching minds and hearts like we would like to be. All right. So without further ado, I would like to now introduce Faith singing Karen Drucker's My Religion is Kindness.
My religion is kindness. My church is nature. My God is a feeling. Lives deep inside. Humanity kindness. My religion is kindness.
Looks like Faith has frozen up. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna have a song. I'm gonna start talking, and when Faith feels like she can. Let's see if she can.
What?
You want to start over again? You froze up right like three lines into the song.
Sure,
Let's try that
try
again.
that again.
Okay.
My religion is this, my church is nature, my feeling lives deep inside my conscience. My religion is kindness. Everyone has to when we say
Okay. We're going to try this at the back end, Faith. It's like you keep freezing up and it's hard for people to hear the words. So we're just going to plug on in there and we'll try it again at the end. All right. So today I want to talk about 12 laws of karma. And first, let me talk about karma for a minute because we have such different ideas about what karma means. I know as a hippie in the 70s, like my thing was karma's a bitch, what you do comes back to you. And so we were always so careful. We didn't want to do anything that would bring karma back to us. And we lived our lives kind of that way, not realizing what we were setting in motion with that. But also there is the Eastern philosophy is about reincarnation, basically. But the karma being that what we do in this life, we carry forward into the next life. And I don't necessarily agree with reincarnation the way it's presented in the Eastern philosophies. I think we still continue on. I'm just not sure we come back as a cow or something like that. I think, or that we come back and not know what we're doing. Dr. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said he couldn't believe in reincarnation because he couldn't believe that we would learn all these lessons here and then have to repeat them next time because we didn't remember. And so we don't talk about reincarnation, but when people talk about karma, that's what they think about. Either this, karma's a bitch and it's going to get you if you do something bad to someone else, or that, if you don't learn your lessons in this lifetime, you're doomed to repeat them in the next lifetime, right? So I want to dispel that a little bit because in religious science, what we think karma is the law of cause and effect. And what that means is that every thought, every action, every deed that we have does have a consequence. It doesn't necessarily mean a bad consequence, but whatever we set in motion has a consequence. And so the law of cause and effect says, if I am not living my true self, if I am doing things to harm others, for example, then my life is going to suffer for it. Okay. And it isn't about like, Vincent used to say to me, yeah, well, this is what's going to happen to you because you did this. It's not like that. It's not like, I don't know, I trip somebody and then 2 or 3 days later, somebody trips me. That's not how karma works. Karma works in the way of like, if I'm not living my true self and I am harming someone else, then the harm will return to me. It may not look exactly like what I did, but it will return to me. So keeping that in mind, this is what we're talking about when we talk about the 12 laws of karma inspired by Happy Soul. The first one is the Great Law, and it's the one that, we're all familiar with. Whatever we put into the universe will come back to us. So if we're putting good into the universe, we are going to receive good back. If we're putting evil into the universe, not that I believe in evil as an entity, but I do believe that we have evil intentions sometimes. And when we do that, then that comes back to us. And so whatever we put into the universe will come back to us. That's the Great Law of Karma. The second law of karma is the law of creation. Life does not happen by itself. We need to make it happen. I'm not sure I agree exactly with the wording on this. It's not about making things happen, and it's about allowing things to happen. We set our intention for what we want our lives to look like and be like. We set the intention, and then we allow God to fill in the blanks to make that intention a reality in the physical realm. But I agree that life doesn't happen by itself. We wouldn't go into a restaurant. This is one of my famous ones. we wouldn't go into a restaurant and when the waitress shows up, we wouldn't say, just bring me food, I don't care what. Because if we don't like mushrooms, that's what we're going to get is a plate of mushrooms. Or we don't like onions, they're going to bring us a plate of onions. So in the respect that life doesn't happen by itself, that is so true. I mean, I can't just go, oh, just give me whatever and expect God to fill in the blanks and for me to be happy with whatever I get, right? So we really do need to set an intention that does make it happen, but it's not us forcing it. I don't like that. I don't like the make it happen part of that because I don't think we can force anything. I think that anytime I have forced anything, it was not what I wanted anyway. I find that when I just set an intention, say, for example, for a relationship, I want a relationship. I want it to be, someone who values me and respects me and treats me well. I would like them to have their own source of income. You can set the intention for all of that and then just let it go and let it happen. You will meet the right person with that intention. The minute you try to force it with another person, like you decide, I want that person, that's the time when, even if you were to get together with them, you would not be a happy person because we just see this much of our life, right? And God sees the entire picture. And so if we can allow God, again, not out here, but inside us, to be the driving force that says, this is what you have said you want as an intention, let me fill in the blanks, kind of like a cookie cutter kind of thing, like, here you go. Then I think we're using the law of creation by doing that intention setting. The third one is the law of humility. One must accept something in order to change it. And I agree with that 100%. Because the thing about change is, unless I've accepted that that's an issue, or I've accepted that there is an issue, I can't change it. I have to recognize what is not as perfect in my life as I would like it to be. And when I am willing to notice that and say, I accept that this is happening, then we have the ability to change it. Now, we may not want to accept it as this is permanent. We probably are going to want some kind of a change. But again, we're going to set an intention for the type of change we want. We're not going to go, oh, God, I just want my life to change, right? I mean, you could. I don't know if I would do that because it may not be the kind of change that I want. But we have to accept that there is something going on in our life that we would like to change. The fourth law is the law of growth. When we change ourselves, our lives follow suit and changes too. And so I used to have this friend who was a multi-level marketer, and the product she sold was like vitamins and stuff. But she used to say, you're either green and growing or you're ripe and rotten. And basically what she's talking about is if we are not actively doing something to grow in our lives, if we're not actively pursuing the growth of our life, in other words, sometimes we don't want to get out of our comfort zone and we just stay where we are, then we become stale and stagnant. It's like a river. The river has to keep moving in order for that water to be alive and vital. And if we are just staying where we are because it's safe and not looking to grow and change, not willing to step outside of our comfort zone, then we're not going to grow and we're not going to change, and our lives will not change either. But the minute that we will set an intention for, this is how I would like my life to change, this is how I want to grow in my life. I want to grow in relationship. I want to grow in health. I want to grow in prosperity. Then our lives follow suit and the changes begin to happen holistically. Again, not forcing anything, just allowing it to holistically happen. The fifth law is the law of responsibility. We have to take responsibility for what is in our lives. Now, please understand, I'm not talking about blame. I want you to see the difference in my posture here. When I'm talking about blame, I'm going, oh God, look what I created. It's awful. You see that? When I take responsibility, when I say I created this so I can uncreate it and I can create something that I like better, watch how my posture changes. I'm alive. I'm upright. I'm not burdened by that idea of blame. We like to blame ourselves and others because we get in that habit. I'm not even sure if it's trained or if we just do that to ourselves. But the minute we do that to ourselves, we have no way out. You see, when I'm blaming myself or someone else for anything that's going on in my life, then I have no way to change it. But the minute I accept responsibility and say, I created this, so I have the power to uncreate it, and I have the power to create something else, then I'm taking responsibility and I have a way forward. I have a path to create a better life for myself. Number 6 is the law of connection. And this one interests me because I've been watching a lot of videos on TikTok, and people are talking about time jumping, or, but the law of connection says the past, present, and future are all connected. And what that means is that the past isn't isolated by itself. The future is not isolated by itself. This moment, this present moment, isn't isolated by itself. What I have experienced up until now creates this present moment, and what I'm doing in this present moment creates a future. And what people in TikTok are saying is that they're simultaneous, that the past, the present, and the future are all simultaneous. And so you can time warp, you can time jump to the time when you are already prosperous, when you have that wonderful relationship, when you are healthy. You can jump time and be in the future, right? It's kind of a cool idea when you think about it, because the past, the present, and the future are connected. And I think I kind of agree with the time jumping thing, that it all happens simultaneously, that there is no past, there is no future. It's all right now, but the past has cultivated the present, and the present is now cultivating the future, right? So they're all connected. So why wouldn't we be able to time jump? I just think that's kind of a cool idea, that we could jump into the future where we have what it is that we were looking for. The 7th law is the law of focus. And they say we cannot think of 2 different things at the same time. I again, kind of argue with the wording a little bit, because we have like something like 4,000 thoughts a minute. I mean, it's a lot. But I think what they are really getting at is that we can't have opposing thoughts. Like love and hate cannot coexist in the same person at the same time. You can have moments where you love and you can have moments where you hate, but you can't have love and hate simultaneous. And because of that, when you're having those moments of hate, that is the perfect time to introduce love, because love is more powerful than hate ever has been. And if you can focus on love, with God's love coming through you, coming down into you and out through you, when you can focus on that, the hate just goes back to the nothingness from which it came. They can't coexist. And so when they say the law of focus, we cannot think of 2 different things at the same time. What I think is that you can't have 2 opposing thoughts at the same time, that you must focus on one or the other. And so I like to say the best focus is on God and God's love and God's health and God's prosperity and God's abundance and God's life and God's, beauty. That's the focus. And if we can focus our attention on that, just think, again, we go back to that first law, the big law, that says what we put out into the universe comes right back to us, right? So if my focus is on God and all of the good and happy things that I love about God, then what's going to come back to me is good and happy things, right? It makes sense, right? Okay. Then number 8 is the law of giving and hospitality. And they say our behavior should match our thoughts and actions, right? Now, I call that integrity. So I would rather say law of integrity personally. But, I'm doing their thing. So, but we are, okay, so earlier in my life, I used to say, oh, that person's so out of integrity, as a judgment. Not me, I would never judge anyone. So I don't these days. But what I know to be true about integrity that I had to learn is not what I interpret your behavior as. Integrity is when what we say we believe, what our words say, should match what our thoughts and actions are. So if I say I believe in prosperity and then I poor mouth all the time, I can't afford this, I can't afford that, then I'm not in an integrity with what I say I believe. If I say I believe in health and I go out and I'm eating cheeseburgers every day, all day, then I'm not in an integrity. If I say I want love and I talk bad about every guy I meet, then how am I going to get in a relationship? Because I'm out of integrity, you see? So I like to think that number 8 is not the law of giving and hospitality, but rather the law of integrity that says when we are in alignment with our thoughts, our actions, our deeds, and our words, if all of that is in alignment, then we are in an integrity. And from that place, we have the power to create the world we would like to see. When we're not in integrity, there's like that opposing force going back and forth. If I say I believe in prosperity and then I talk about being poor all the time, then the universe does not necessarily know what to do with me. It will hear this and then it will hear this and then it will hear this and it will hear this. How effective do you think we are going to be if that's the case, right? Or if we say we want love and all we do is talk bad about other people, gossip or whatever, then how effective is it going to be for us to create a relationship? Or if we say we want health and then we go out and we eat cheeseburgers all day, well, I'm not picking on cheeseburgers because I love them. I'm just saying, like, if you are not eating healthy and you're not trying to be healthy in everything that you're doing, then don't say that you believe in health. You know, I don't have anything against I've eaten that way my whole life. I have not worried about health at all. Nowadays, because I'm trying to get over Hashimoto's and I'm doing this autoimmune protocol, I'm thinking about health a lot more, and I'm realizing where my thoughts and my beliefs have been out of alignment with the actions that I have taken up to this point. So now I'm trying to be in integrity with the actions as well as knowing what is good. I read labels. I got the water filter, what is it called? Berkey water filter that takes everything out, including arsenic and fluoride and all that. And I'm doing all of these things because I do know at the end of this protocol, I want to be healthy. And so my actions are now matching what I say I believe in. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So again, I would like to call that the law of integrity. The 9th law is the law of here and now. One cannot be present if they are looking backward or forward, right? I mean, if all my attention, all my focus is on what's happened in the past, how am I ever going to create a reality here and now that is something that is good? And that happens whether the past is good or bad. For example, if I had a beautiful relationship in the past with someone, and all I do is focus on that relationship, then in the here and now, there is no space for a new relationship to occur, right? In this here and now. Or if there has been something in the past that has happened that is not what we would consider perfect, maybe we've been hurt, maybe, this person didn't treat us well, we are going to be judging everyone we meet in this present circumstance by that past. Also, if our focus is on the future, how are we living in the present moment? If all I can do is say, I can't wait until this, then am I enjoying the present moment? No. I'm guilty of that. I mean, I've done that so many times where if this could just get easier, then I'd be happy. Well, if I don't choose to be happy in this present moment, it is never going to happen because tomorrow never comes. By tomorrow, it's today, and there's another tomorrow. So it's really important that we recognize that the law of here and now says one cannot be present if we're looking backward or we're looking forward, right? The 10th law is the law of change. history repeats itself until we learn from it and change our path. Now, this is where that Eastern idea of reincarnation and karma come together, because history does repeat itself until we learn from it and change our path, but it happens now, I think. I don't think it happens in the future. I don't think it's a different life. I think that history repeats itself and over and over and over again until we either see something that we want and we're willing to pay the price for that to get the prize, or until we are in so much pain that we are willing to change our behavior. I remember reading a quote, and I apologize because I don't know who it came from. But there was this quote about insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And most human doings are guilty of that. I mean, that's just what we do. We keep repeating a behavior and repeating a behavior until it becomes so uncomfortable that we are actually willing to change that behavior into something that will benefit us, right? So I don't necessarily think that we have to think about reincarnation as this law of change, or a law of change presents, because we're going to do that here in this life. We don't even need that other life to learn these lessons. We can learn them here, and we can benefit from them here. One of the things that I love about our teaching is that we don't believe in heaven and hell, because our founder said he couldn't believe that we would live our lives in this life in order to avoid hell, or in order to cozy up to get to heaven, right? He believed that heaven and hell exist here on this earth. I had a friend, really good friend, my best friend in high school, who lost his arm in an accident. Long story short, but and we graduated high school and we kind of lost touch. And I ran into him at our 10-year anniversary, or what is it called? Reunion, our 10-year reunion. And we were talking, and he was telling me that he had spent 1.5 years in prison. And we got on the subject of heaven and hell somehow. I'm not even sure how that did. And I said to him, so let me ask you this then. Do you believe that you felt good in prison? And he goes, no. And I said, did you suffer while you were there? And he goes, yeah. And I said, I think that's hell. And he stopped and kind of thought about it for a minute. He was raised Catholic. He was Irish Catholic. And he stopped for a minute and he said, you know, you're right. He said, there is hell on earth. And I said, yeah. And so would you rather live your life in such a way that you experience heaven on earth? Or would you rather experience your life so that you're, experience the world or do things that would make it hell on earth? And he looked at me and he said, in the past, I've always sort of cultivated that relationship with hell. And he said, I'm starting to think that I would like to be in heaven. And so I don't know what happened after that. He did pass away before our next reunion, but so I never got to talk to him about what that meant or how it affected his life. But I tend to think that if we are living our life in such a way, this is my motto, I would like to live my life in such a way that other people will want to know my God. Because I feel like if I live my life in integrity and I live my life in such a way that I am good to others, and I live it in such a way that I feel good inside in any interaction that I have with other people, if I live my life that way, I feel like I'm in heaven. And if you've ever noticed when you walk away from a fight with somebody, how bad you feel inside, your gut hurts, you just, nothing feels right. And that's because that's hell, you see? So when we can learn to get along in our world and be able to come from a place of love and compassion and just allow ourselves to be that agent of God's love here on earth, when we can do that, then I think we're in heaven. I think we live our lives in heaven. And so that is the law of change, which goes right alongside with law number 11, which is law of patience and reward. The most valuable rewards require persistence. I know you've heard that saying that nothing worthwhile is ever free, right? I don't think you have to pay money for something. I do believe there's no free lunch. If you don't pay for it with coin, you're going to pay for it with spiritual coin. Let's just put it that way. So what happens is, if I want something really bad, if I want that relationship, let's focus on that relationship for a minute. It requires me to be persistent, to be patient, to know that my reward will come if I can only just be patient and allow instead of forcing things. We go back to that whole force thing. If I can be persistent in my focus on God, and I can be persistent on my focus on my intention, and just allow God to fill in the blanks and not try to force it, if I can just allow it, then I will get the reward. There is a gift at the end of that rainbow, right? But it does take patience and it does take persistence. Because I know some people will do an affirmation and say, well, it didn't work for me. There have been some affirmations that I do 10 times and it manifests. And there's been some affirmations I've done over 1,000 times before they actually manifested. So that patience pays off. That persistence pays off. So the law of patience and reward is a good one. Okay, karmic law number 12, the law of significance and inspiration. Rewards are a direct result of the energy and effort we put into it, right? Makes sense, doesn't it? If we are not willing to put in the energy and effort, then why would we get a reward, right? I think about it in terms like this. Let's talk relationships again. Let's put it in that. So if you have a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter which way, who is not putting in the time and energy into the relationship, and you are putting in all the time and energy into the relationship, then it's not going to be successful, you see, because they're not willing to put the energy and effort into it. There isn't anything on that side. There's nothing there for a reward. Just because you're willing to put in the energy and effort doesn't mean it's going to happen. Prosperity is the same way. If I'm not willing to put in the energy and the effort to change my thoughts and my beliefs to a more prosperous belief or a more prosperous faith, if I'm not willing to put in the energy and effort for that, then how in the world am I ever going to create prosperity? Again, with wellness, if I'm not willing to put in the effort to at least, progress over perfection is the motto of this program. Like, they don't expect you to be perfect. They expect you to fall down a couple of times and scrape your knee and you get right back up. But if I'm not willing to put in the effort to at least try to eat right, to take my supplements, to drink water that isn't contaminated with plastic or anything else, if I don't put in the energy or the effort, then how am I ever going to expect to get over this Hashimoto's, right? So it's really important that we put in the energy and effort toward the reward that we want. So that is the law. That's the 12th law, the law of significance and inspiration. Then they had a little thing at the end that they talked about, which I thought was so cool because it really teaches the law of circulation in a different way than I've been teaching it. And that is, when a bird is alive, it eats ants. When it dies, the ants eat it. And that's really the law of circulation. It's really, when an animal dies, the soil takes them in and it supplies nutrients to the soil, right? And while they're alive, they're eating something that came from the soil, plants or animals, insects, whatever. And then the other one was, one tree makes 1 million matchsticks, but a single matchstick can burn 1 million trees. Just a thought, just something to ponder on. Maybe in your meditation this week, you can think about those two things and think about our world and what you would like to change. Change your focus to change your life. Get focused on the love of God, the life of God, the beauty of God, the health of God, the prosperity of God. Get your mind focused on that. Set an intention and do everything that you can through energy and effort to make it possible for that to come into fruition, and then allow it to be there. Can you do that with me this week? Let's have a prayer. Right now, I just turn my awareness to the infinite power and the infinite presence of God, to that place within me that knows beyond human understanding just how powerful, how amazingly beautiful, how wonderful God is. In fact, that is where I find myself, my very essence, my very life, my very being. It is who and what I am. And every thought, every action, every deed, it is guided and led by that ancient wisdom of the ages that lives within me as God. I know that same truth to be so for this wonderful team that I have been loaned by God, for Faith and for Lynn and for Tina and for Oz and for Karen and for Elaine. For we are all one. We have our essence in the life of God. And because of that, there is no place where God is not. And every thought, every action, every deed that we do in this human doingness that we live is guided and led by that ancient wisdom of the ages. That is God flowing through us. I know that same truth to be so for anyone who is watching this, whether that be in real time or later on. Because I do know that there is no place where one leaves off and the other begins. We are all one. Mitaku Yasin, all my brethren, we are all one. And so this coming week is blessed, absolutely blessed, with all these opportunities to change our focus, to change our life, to learn and grow in effort and energy, to being that which we declare for ourselves. All these opportunities present themselves and we accept it. We step up and claim that for ourselves. I know this to be so for every name that is in the ministry of prayer today, because I do know that no matter what circumstance they are experiencing, God is the answer. God is the truth beyond, behind, underneath. God is the power to overcome any of it. So right now I pull back the veil and I reveal that truth in this situation. I know that God facilitates a healing beyond any expectations. And so I know that we allow this here and now to be so. I know that I am grateful to be of service in this way, to know that this is done, and to let this just be. And so it is. Amen. Ooh, I love to pray. All right, this is our opportunity to receive your gifts, tithes, and offerings, and your opportunity to express gratitude for that which you have already seen in your life, and for that perhaps that you have created in the mind of God through your intention and focus, but have not yet seen in the physical realm. And so I'm going to ask you to go to www.oasiscsl.org. And about 2/3 down the page is our offering affirmation with a contribute now button at the bottom. Let me talk a little bit about the contribution so that you understand. This is not a contribution about salaries or facility rent or any of those things. Contributions given to us are totally for the purpose of facilitating God's message in the world. We are already a global community because we have people who are watching us from all different countries: Holland, the UK, Germany. I know we have some from the Middle East, Malaysia. We have a lot of people that follow us that are not in this country. So we already have a global audience, but we want to grow that because I want to touch as many lives as possible with God's message. I want God's message to heal the world. And we do that by funding our marketing. And so just to let you know, that's what you are contributing to. Okay. Please go to oasiscsl.org, about 2/3 down the page. Say this offering affirmation with us now, regardless of whether it's in real time or later on. You can say it with us right now. This perfect gift is spirit and form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive. And so it is. All right. I'm going to do the announcements. Oh, hit that contribute now button. All right. So I'm going to do the announcements real quick. Then we're going to try with Faith again. And if it doesn't work out, I'm just going to play the video from my end because I don't know why she's freezing up, but it's okay. So we have this wonderful ministry of prayer staffed by licensed practitioners from coast to coast that we call our God Squad. And these practitioners are awesome. They have been through 4 years of training at the very least to get where they are. And many of them have been practicing for years. I know Oz has been a practitioner since 2000, I believe. 2002, maybe. Let's see. I met him in 98. Yeah, probably 2002. So he's been practicing for quite a while here, 20 years. He should be getting his 20-year pin this year. Oz, you might want to look into that. 20 years of active service, they give you a little pin. So anyway, I wanted to say that because I do want you to know that if you need prayer for anything, reach out to these practitioners. They are awesome. Oz is available for what we call our 1-minute miracle after the service. It's not a time for counseling, but it is a time where you can share with him whatever situation you are experiencing, what condition you are experiencing, and he will stop, drop, and pray with you right then and there. It's really powerful to know that you have someone who is joining with you in partnership for prayer. And our licensed practitioners are available by appointment for a fee for spiritual guidance as well. So you're going to reach out to Oz today by video chat if he's busy. If he doesn't answer right away, it might mean that he is talking to someone else. Try back in a later date. If you're wanting to have a spiritual guidance session, counseling session, then you can reach out to our practitioners through our website or through Facebook and let them know. And they will arrange payment either by PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. It's up to them how they want to do it. And then they'll arrange an appointment and they will reach out to you by video chat at your appointed time. So take advantage of this loving service they provide because it is awesome. I want to let you know that if you would like to be on the ministry, you would like a prayer request in the ministry of prayer today, please type it in the comments section. If you don't want it to be public, you can direct message one of us and Faith will get it onto our private facing group page on Facebook for our God Squad. That's what we call our prayer partners, is God Squad. And so do that. And if you would like to be part of the God Squad, you don't necessarily have to be a licensed practitioner. You do, however, have to be willing to do affirmative prayer every day for a week, and you need to keep those prayer requests confidential. And so type yes in the comment section, and Faith will add you as a God Squad member to our private Facebook group page. And if you would like to be on the first people to receive information about what we're doing here, and you want to join our online community, type more in the comment section, and Faith will put you in our public-facing group for Facebook. All right. Let's see. Brooks and Bailey. So first, let me show you these mala beads. Aren't they beautiful? They're, of course, purple. She only sends me purple stuff because she knows I just love purple. But these are some of the mala beads. They have bracelets and mala beads. I have bracelets too. And I love the clasps on the bracelets because they're a little circle with a little bar through it. So I don't lose it. I've only lost it once in all the time I've had it. It's been a year and a half or something. Excuse me. And I lose bracelets pretty easily. So that's saying a lot. I didn't lose it. It dropped off my hand here. But all of the proceeds go to Rocky Mountain Lab Rescue, a very worthy cause. You can reach out to her through Brooks and Bailey 0307 at gmail.com. They also do have a Facebook page, and so you can reach out to them there, and you can see their work on the Facebook page. They have been taking pictures of all kinds of bracelets and mala beads and that kind of thing. But anyway, just to let you know. Oh, and she says these are $60, these mala beads that I have on. So I think it's based on the type of stone they're using, gemstone, whatever. All right, Faith, here you go.
And go check out the Mystic Brew. We have intention jars and bath salts, all with different herbs to help attract whatever intention you are working on. We also have the kits so that you can build them yourself. Also follow all of our social media on Instagram and Facebook to get any fun updates on any seminars, rituals, what have you that we might do here in the future.
Yep, I'm thinking we're probably going to play Karen's song, and I'll do it from my computer because I think it's your computer that's freezing up. This is the intention jar Faith made me for prosperity. So whenever I'm working on prosperity, I play with it. I just love it. It helps me focus. And I believe those are 15, that size. Is that right, Faith?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Then we have an adjunct to that with Angel Renee, who offers intention candles for $25 and intention tea bags for your bath. I believe those are $10. She has an Etsy store, as does Faith. So you can reach out and get all that. Faith has put all that stuff in the comment field so that you can get to it very, very easily. I always like to acknowledge our people that provide us with music. The first is Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver, who has a website. You can buy a CD from her. You do have to get a hold of her by email because she does not have, she travels around all over the country singing, and she doesn't have a way to update her website to say how to get payment. So go on the website, figure out which thing you would like, and then you can contact her by email, and she will send you the CD. She travels around with them all in her trunk of her car, and she'll figure out how to get payment from you. Then we have Karen Drucker, who has gifted us with her entire collection of 20 CDs. And on her website, it does work. So you can buy the song, you can buy it by the CD, you can buy a songbook. And some of the songs in the songbook have American Sign Language, which is very cool. Anyway, and her website does work, so you can buy all of that right there. And then please support these people who support us, because we like to acknowledge them, because we couldn't do service without music. I mean, we could, but I don't like it. Let's put it that way. I want to have a whole service. I want to have the real thing. Okay. So check out our website at www.oasiscsl.org. This is a great place for you to see what kind of sermons we've done in the past. We have the video sermons from the last year and a half, and we have audio sermons from all the years prior. We are also on YouTube and SoundCloud with those sermons. YouTube is the video, SoundCloud is the audio, and that is under S. Tucker, if you're looking for it. Also on our website, we list everything that we're doing, and we have all kinds of photos and videos and things so that you can see what our church members look like, because we really do exist. It's so funny. I contacted this chaplain of this jail and had to prove that I was who I said I was so that I could have a clergy visit with someone. And it was really funny because he went to my website and he goes, "Oh, you do exist." I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "You're real." I go, "Yeah." I am real. It's really funny, but anyway. All right. And then we're going to do the rest of the service like normal. And then at the very end, I'm just going to, before we say goodbye, I'm going to go ahead and play that video. So right now we're going to move into I Am So Blessed by Karen Drucker. If you don't know the words, learn them. It's a great meme to have because it will bless your life. And if you do know the words, sing it loud and sing it proud.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And right now, I know that God is here right now in us as us, and its power is bringing forth the highest and best for all concerned. I know this is a good thing, and I let it be so with great thanks. And so it is.
And so it is. And here we go.
My religion is kindness. My church is nature. My God is a feeling that lives deep inside. My job is to be conscious. My path is forgiveness. My religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. Everyone has a story. Everyone has pain. When we strip away our masks, we find we're really all the same. It's those little things we say and do that can mean so much. It's a smile, a connection, a simple love in touch. My religion is kindness. My church is nature. My God is a feeling. It lives deep inside. My job is to be conscious. My path is forgiveness. My religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. Every day. Today I'm gonna ask myself, what more can I do? To be a radiant child of God, and let my love shine through. I'm gonna let my heart be my guide to give the best of me. I'm gonna share my joy, share my love, give it boundlessly. My religion is kindness. My church is nature. My God is a feeling. Live deep inside. My job is to be conscious. My path is forgiveness. My religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. Yeah. Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Then Jack fell down and broke his ground, and Jill came running after. Said, Jack, tell me, what can I do to help ease your mind? He said, hold my hand and just be kind, and I know I'll be fine. This kind of nature, I got the feeling lived deep inside. Trying to be conscious, my path is forgiveness. My religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. My religion is kindness, my church is nature. My God is a feeling that lives deep inside. Trying to be conscious, my path is forgiveness. My religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. Every day. My religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. Every day. My religion is kindness, and I'm going to practice it every
Whew. Excuse me. We do this at the end in case Facebook and
Censors
YouTube
cut us off.
decide to cut us off. But join us next week at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. We are going to be celebrating Faith's birthday next weekend, so it's going to be a real
18.
celebration. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about coming of age because that's what we're doing. So awesome. So join us next weekend for the party, and then join us again every Sunday. We love having you here. I know there's 1,000 things you could be doing on a Sunday morning, and we're blessed to have you with us. We love you. Stay safe, wear a mask, get vaccinated, and we'll see you next week. Bye.